Proudly fly this thin blue line flag behind me, just to piss you off. The incredibly talented.
The intro's over.
Yeah. We're joined by the talented NCR News Network.
Hey, hey.
Our
AKA
favorite
Broken Chair
Australian. Our favorite Australian comedian, Damien Paxton.
G'day.
And our favorite Californian, Logan Sandman.
And Broken
Who
Chair.
looks about as happy as a sandpaper dildo.
Broken Chair Swollen Ass is my frauditor name. If I was to become a frauditor.
Broken Chair Swollen Ass.
So I break the chairs of tyrants.
Oh, good grief.
Boing.
The chair's the tyrant. Okay.
The chair's the tyrant.
So it's that time once again, guys. It's the weekend review. So of course I have to have a panel up. Our first topic for tonight is actually going to be NCR's new video.
Ooh.
Which one I dropped too?
The
I think I know which one we're
where you
talking
drop
about.
Hopefully you
yeah,
flushed
the
for
three
after.
cops.
Okay.
I would hope he not only flushed, but he washed his hands afterwards too.
I do, because I refer to that as taking Chille to the pool. So.
And remember, vote for Chille and the Grifties.
Yeah, isn't he up to like number 11 again?
Yep.
Oh, we're gonna make sure he wins before the end of the year. All right, so in the chat we have Tani Super Necessary BS Detector. We have Delete Frauditors. We have NC.
Kiss Cat.
Kissacat was here, but she's gone to bed.
No. And the rest of the assholes are up on stream.
Getting kicked off of YouTube.
Yeah, the rest of everybody else hasn't showed up yet. So.
Oh, Smitty's
in the Smitty's chat. Here.
Smitty's here. Okay. Oh, and we have another panel guest. We have Gator.
Give me a sec. I'm working on my headphones. I can't hear you, but.
For those of you who don't know, Gator and I went to the same junior high and high school.
Is that where you built Stonehenge?
No, he built Stonehenge.
Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah, you just got stoned.
All right.
Oh, no, shit.
He's older than I am. He built Stonehenge. I charged admission.
Devos.
Right.
Okay.
We have Debos Nation also. Welcome, Debos.
Here. Hey, Debos.
So, if you guys haven't watched NCR's video, he has a video where he's calling out 3 officers for doing a stupid. Gator, I think you've watched the video, haven't you?
That's pretty obvious. I think my comment is right here underneath your live stream, as a matter of fact. The comment I made in your comment section somehow showed up here. Well, it was here a minute. It was here a minute ago. It's not gone now. Yeah, I got some input on that, but go ahead and speak your intro.
So in the video, the officers pulled over a vehicle for what was it? It was for
A suspected road rage incident that involved a firearm.
Yeah. As they get the vehicle stopped, the vehicle is on one side of a set of train tracks. One police vehicle is straddling the train tracks. And hey, B2, welcome. And the other police vehicles are on the opposite side of the train tracks. The officers,
Sorry.
the officers get the person out of the truck, handcuff them, are searching for a possible weapon, and have the suspect in the police car that is stuck on the train tracks.
It's not stuck on the train tracks, but it's parked on the train tracks, yes.
Yeah, parked on the train tracks.
If it was stuck on the train tracks, that would explain everything. Nobody would be liable for what happened. Oh, it was stuck.
Yeah. It was parked on the train tracks.
Definitely parked on the train tracks.
Hey, Hezekiah.
While they are searching the area for the weapon to see if the weapon got tossed out of the vehicle during the pursuit, a train comes and strikes the cruiser that is parked on the tracks, injuring the suspect in the back of the vehicle. Obviously, there's a lot of things that those cops could have done to prevent that from happening. NCR, didn't you say you lost 2 subs last night because of that?
Yes, I did. I was at 600, and because of it, I lost 2 of them. But this was hard for me to do because I'm friends with some cops. I know good cops, and we have really good cops in our community. I struggled making this fucking video.
I pretty much support the cops. I haven't always supported the cops, I did a bit of time in jail when I was a younger man. But I don't see any problem with posting that video and giving commentary on it. Now, I do disagree with your terminology that they were bad cops. I think they just were some cops that made some bad decisions. I don't necessarily think they were bad cops. Other than that, I have no problem with your video or anything that you said. I mean, I might not completely agree with what you said, but I wouldn't have thrown it. I wouldn't have thrown a hissy fit over it.
And for me, I've always been, on the side of there's good and there's bad in every profession.
All right, I'm going to pull up Tawny's question. Tawny said, "Did the cops get arrested for it?"
They were. All 3 cops were suspended pending the investigation's outcome. And the information that I've gotten from my sources they were all suspended with pay pending the outcome's results. But the woman who was in the car did survive. She suffered multiple severe injuries, including the ones that I listed, which were a broken leg, 9 broken ribs, a crushed or cracked sternum, and some skull fractures upon bruises and other abrasions. Now, there was something that I got some more info on before I made the video from another channel. Steve Leto of Leto's Law had gotten information from a news source where they had revealed that the one officer who was behind the car that was struck, that you saw run to the other two cars, he supposedly has gotten multiple internal reports about his performance reviews where he has been placed as, and these are their words, incompetent at any position because he puts himself and others in danger.
Well, when I was looking that up today, they actually it pointed out that the officer who parked his car on the tracks was that person. It didn't say that other guy. My point about the third guy is that you don't see exactly what happened up until when
I'm just trying to water the parkway.
Well, thank you for your input, Logan.
Dumb enough to stand there.
Anyway, the third guy that was there, I don't really, because the camera didn't show him until it was too late. So I don't know I can't pass judgment on him because I don't know what the fuck he was doing. But he didn't seem to be very observant. But by the time he did notice the train was coming, there really wasn't nothing he could do about it. I don't know if somebody would suspect that he should go run out on the train tracks and fucking stand in front of the train or what they expected him to do. But like I said, it doesn't show. It doesn't show what he was doing, so it's hard to say. What.
Yeah. Guys, I'd like to welcome another panel member up here. We have Brandon from B Squared with us today.
Hello, all.
Hello, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
I knew that was coming. I need to. If only it were possible to trademark my name, I'd be rolling in the royalties.
I will be right.
Brandon is a fool. La la la.
I should have never shared that sound bite, but it's true.
Hi, Brandon.
My input on the whole situation is the cops have so much stuff at their disposal. They could have used the PA system, which we heard them using the PA system for the cruiser to instruct the driver to turn the car off, to get out of the car. They could have used that to have the driver pull forwards more so they could get one's car right behind the truck and not be on the tracks, number one. Number two, they could have also called into dispatch and had dispatch notify the railway dispatch center that section of track needs to be closed down temporarily because of what they were doing.
So I came in late, CA, but I'm guessing this is about the train that hit the police car the other week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
in Chille's latest video.
I'm so far behind on watching everybody's stuff. It's not even funny. That's part of why I'm not doing my usual stream tonight. But yeah, I've been seeing headlines about that pretty much everywhere. So I've actually learned quite a bit about that just in the few minutes of listening in that I've been doing. So Commentator Auditor has done his job and educated me. So there you go.
Yeah. They could have done so much to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, you know what they call what you're doing right now? It's called armchair quarterbacking. They could have, but they didn't. They didn't think of doing that.
They didn't.
Yeah, I agree. They could have, but they didn't.
What I see is what we most commonly refer to as they got tunnel vision. They got so focused on the person in the truck that they weren't paying attention to their surroundings. They weren't paying attention to where they were stopped on the tracks. They weren't paying attention to anything except there's the suspect vehicle. Let's get them and get them in a car.
That's what the military would call poor situational awareness. Because it doesn't take a genius to know that you don't park a vehicle astride train tracks. I mean, you just don't do that.
No, you don't. And that just showed that they weren't using proper judgment also. I mean, There was other things they could have done, like I mentioned before, the PA system telling the driver to pull forwards, or calling into the dispatch center for the railway station and saying, "Hey, this section of track needs to be shut down temporarily till we finish with what we're doing."
Well, I think the first option was the correct one. Just move the goddamn car off the railroad tracks. The rest of it wouldn't be necessary if they just moved the fucking car.
I will say this: Gator did bring a valid point. I should have retitled the video better, but I feel all three cops are at fault in some way when they could have said once they had the suspect in cuffs in the back of the squad car, "Hey, give me your keys. I'll move the car."
Oh, I agree. Well, the first two cops are definitely fucked up. The one, he shouldn't have left his goddamn car on the tracks. I mean, I understand why he parked his car on the tracks from where the person stopped. Like I said, tunnel vision. He wants to get the suspect out of the car. And then when the female cop put the woman in the car, she should have said, "Hey, I better move this fucking car off the railroad tracks." But the third guy, I can't fault him because I really don't know what he was doing. You don't see what he was doing except for when he comes up to the car at first and then he backs back off. I don't know what the fuck he was doing the rest of the time.
Well, that was going to be my first question as to why the vehicle was parked astride the tracks to begin with. So, but
because of where the suspect stopped. She stopped just on the other side of the track, so he pulled up as close as he could to get to her so he could get out and get her out of the car. So yeah, that was but yeah, he should have fucking moved it afterwards. I fully agree with that. I mean, it was just a bad decision. I don't think he did it on purpose.
Yeah, the main reason I say all three are at fault is when they are at the truck searching. There are all three of them searching. Two looking in the front, one at the driver's side, one at the passenger side, and one is looking in the back. At that point, one of them should have said or thought, "Wait a minute, we're on a train track. We need to move this vehicle or move the suspect into a different vehicle."
Well, then see, to me, the female cop was the one that really fucked up the situation. Okay, the guy did park his car on the tracks, but he didn't put the suspect in the car. The female did that, and you can't really tell by the video if he was paying attention whenever the female put her in the back of the car or not. Mistakes were made. I don't want to be judgmental and call them bad cops. They were just fucking cops that made bad decisions. And like I said, the third guy, it doesn't really show what he was doing other than the first part. So I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
Well, the question becomes, at what point does, I'm not a lawyer, so let me say that first. I'm not a lawyer, but I know a little bit. So clearly, at the very, very least, this is a good, well, it's not a good anything, but it's an example of negligence. Now, here's the question. At what point does negligence become criminal negligence? I think that's really the question to be asked in situations like this. Do we think that what happened rises to the level of willful criminal negligence?
I don't.
I'm torn on it. I'm still trying to get more information before I make that final decision, because the more I'm hearing about the one officer who has a past of doing this, and
that's supposedly the third cop that you see him. He sees the fucking train, and the train's already about to hit the car. So, what has that got to do with this? He didn't park the car there. He was just the third cop on the scene, and there was nothing he could do once he turned and he saw that fucking train. It was coming. You could tell he thought about trying to move the car, but it was too fucking late. There wasn't really anything he could do.
Well, since you mentioned that, again, I came in late, so apologies if this has already been discussed, but I did hear someone make the comment that this officer did have a history of misconduct, we'll call it. So the question shifts to, did the department and thus his superiors have a duty of care to rectify this before this situation even had a chance to occur?
Well, I think the first thing we need to do is we need to clarify who is actually the guy that they're talking about here. Because I was that you, Commentator Auditor, that said that you heard it was the guy with the rifle that was had the history of whatever.
I think that was NCR that was
Okay.
talking about.
Because when I was looking it up this morning, they pointed out that it was Officer Vasquez tracks that was the one that had a history of doing stupid shit. It didn't mention the cop with the rifle. It mentioned that guy. I could probably find that again if I look in my history.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Debos.
Hey, Bus.
It was.
Do I sound okay?
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There was so much that they could have done. I mean, ultimately, the blame is actually going to fall on all three because they all three had a chance to pay attention to their surroundings and figure out that there was train tracks and that one car was parked on the tracks.
To
And
who
whoever
was driving that vehicle and in charge of that vehicle?
Yeah. Well, also, whoever the senior officer was on scene would also be responsible. So it could be that the third officer that we don't know much about, could have been the senior officer on scene.
Okay, if you guys check the private chat, I put a link up to the story that says it was actually Officer Vasquez, the cop that parked his car on the railroad tracks, was the one that was called incompetent and everything else. I haven't seen anything about the third cop or who he actually is. So I don't know if the person that said that made a mistake or maybe there is a story out there about the third cop. But I think the third cop is kind of irrelevant because of what you see from the video. Yeah, he should have had the foresight to remove the car. But when he actually sees the train coming and he looks over at the car, there really wasn't anything he could do about it at that point. So him running away at that point right there, I don't fault him for that. I mean, he's not obligated to commit suicide.
Well, something that merits mention, I think, and I'm reading through the article, but something that I think merits mention is when you roll up on railroad tracks, realistically, how often have you had to stop for a train coming through? Very few. So I'm not defending
Not in my
anyone.
town.
What's that?
Not in my town.
Then that's
Ooh.
different from my experience.
No, we've got a metro line coming through several times a day, and
Gotcha.
there are very, very large white lines painted that you do not go get in between when the red, when you come to a red light, because the train runs right along a street through our town that goes from one end to the other.
Right.
The main drag.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that does happen, but the point that I was making, and again, I'm not defending anyone's behavior because, as folks have said, there were definitely mistakes made, but at least in my experience, in no town where I've lived, in North Carolina at least, you don't see trains coming through very often, if at all. I mean, there are some portions of tracks that are completely disused, but I digress. So, in a way, I heard someone mention tunnel vision earlier, and I would argue that an infrequency of train passages might be a contributing factor. But that's just that, like we said earlier, that's just armchair commentary.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Would the woman be
Sure.
in any way at fault herself? I mean,
The suspect?
The suspect?
Yeah, if she got pulled over, she'd know that the cops would be pulling up behind her. So wouldn't she have, been under obligation or something to pull further?
Sorry about laughing.
No, Damien. It wouldn't fall on her. The officers are supposed to be aware of everything going on or in their area, around their general area. That is, and It's up
Sorry
to
for my
them to
neighbours.
maintain the safety of the suspect as well as themselves.
Yeah, I definitely don't see where. I mean, even if she ran from the cops, which you don't actually see, they said she took a while to pull over. Where she stopped really doesn't have. I mean, if she was the one that stopped on the tracks and her truck got hit by the tracks, and everything would be her fault. But yeah, no, it ain't her fault that they put her in a cop car sitting on the railroad tracks. It's their fault.
Do we know if she said anything about where the police vehicle was positioned while they were taking her into custody?
You can actually see it in the video. It is right dead center on the tracks in the middle of where the road would
Yeah.
be.
But
Yeah,
no,
but
I didn't hear her say anything about it. Like, don't put me in the car on the train tracks. No, I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah, that's
No.
what I was asking.
Oh
I
no,
know.
nope. They just threw her in the first car, and
Yeah,
that was the
okay.
first car.
Yeah, and I don't doubt I don't doubt that everyone could see where it was parked. But like I said, the question was, did the suspect actually say anything? Because if she said something and it was ignored, then that creates liability on the parts of the
Yeah,
custodial officers.
She was
I
requesting her
didn't hear.
phone.
Go ahead.
She was requesting her cell phone because she was trying to record
Right.
the stop at the same time, and she was cooperating with the cops' orders. She was. She did put her phone down. She kept her hands up. She responded to every question and command, and the only thing she asked for was her cell phone.
Yeah, I didn't hear her say anything about "don't leave me in the car on the train tracks." It might have been said, but it didn't get picked up in the video, in the audio.
Now the counterpoint to that would be she didn't say anything, so okay, but the counterpoint to that would be if you were in her position, would you expect that a police officer taking you into custody would make the kind of mistake that was made, leaving you like in harm's way? Or would you assume they would be more on top of things than that?
I would assume naturally they would have put her in a car away from the tracks, but
Or at least put her in the car and move the car.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
I agree with I agree with that 100%. It was definitely stupid to put her in a car sitting on the railroad tracks or not moving the car once they put her in it. That was definitely stupid.
Oh, that's indisputable.
Yeah.
Now, if you watch because I used the body cam footage for my video. If you actually watch it at one point before you hear the predominant whistle of the train, you actually hear it in the background echoing of there's an oncoming train somewhere. And if you're on tracks, you hear that, you should have naturally assumed that one of them get her out of the car or move the car.
Right.
And that's
Now,
why I'm leaving all three at
my commentary on that was, if you noticed, when you hear the horn, they don't react at all. They didn't hear the horn. But the second time you heard the horn, the male cop stopped in mid-sentence and like, what was that noise?
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as the camera turned and looked, it was too fucking late. You know, there was nothing they could do about it. Now, if they would have, like I said, number one, they should have never left the car on the tracks. When they put the woman in the car, they should have moved the car. But I don't think they actually, once they realized the train was bearing down on them, I don't think that they had time to do anything about it. I don't think they intentionally just said, "Oh, look, a train's coming. What should we do? Leave her in the car on the track?"
See, I still have the body cam footage on my computer if you want me to send it to you.
No, I watched it. I've seen. I saw this several weeks ago, so like when it happened. So this isn't new to me at all. I've been arguing with people about this on the internet because there's so many people that want to crucify the cops over this because they're cop haters, you know. Where I see it as it was cops that made mistakes. They didn't. I don't believe that any of them intentionally put that woman in that car so it would get hit by the fucking train.
Well, I heard right as I came
Yeah,
in, I heard someone mention that they had gotten some information from Steve Leto of Leto's Law.
Yeah.
I don't watch Steve anymore, but I used to, and I know one of his favorite stories to tell is when a police officer gets in trouble in one department, they seem to be able to go to department hop basically, and have their past kind of forgotten about. And if what I'm reading in this article is correct, that this officer did have a documented history, it kind of makes you wonder where liability in this would really lay. I mean, yeah, the officer made a mistake. That nobody is disputing that, but I would question whether focus should be on the behavior of the department itself.
That begs a question, Brandon. If an officer gets in trouble at a department and serves the discipline and redeems themselves and they move to a different department, is the new department now opening themselves up for liability for somebody who made a mistake in the past?
It depends on. So I'm saying this as someone who's hired and fired people before. So when I get some, this is just me talking out loud, but when I hire someone from outside my company, the thing that I always have in the back of my mind is, okay, what I don't know what the circumstances were like where they were. So I don't know what bad behaviors and bad habits I may have to train out of them. But that's always a concern. So when I look at things like this, it's like, yeah, they may have department hopped to get a fresh start, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have some awareness of what the issues were. Now, the counterpoint to that is I would never hold anyone's mistakes against them to a point. So, in other words, if someone made mistakes and they demonstrated that they had learned from them and they were open about it with me, then I'd give them an opportunity to fail. Whereas if they tried to hide it or if it just conveniently never came up, shall we say, then I would look at that more harshly. So I would have that I don't want to say degree of vigilance, but you get what I'm saying.
No,
And
I do understand.
like departments in this case should have had a little more awareness as well.
Yeah, yeah, and I have to go with NC on this. You know, it doesn't have to be intentional for the officers to be in the wrong. I mean, and he's got a point. I mean, I see it as negligence, and negligence doesn't mean that the officers were willful in leaving the person in the car on the tracks.
Well, the question earlier was, does it rise to the level of
Criminal.
criminal? Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Criminal negligence. And I just don't see that it does. Now, I'm looking at that story, and it says the reason that he was given a bad evaluation at his prior job was, it said, poor quality of work. Now, so you don't really know how much information that this current police department got from the guy other than he quit the previous department because they gave him a bad review. I don't know. You know, police are usually in unions, so that might be limited as to what you can say about them to another department. So I don't know. I'm not a cop.
Well, something to. I know I'm taking both sides of every argument, but I kind of see both sides of it. So if you get a situation where, let me back up. I have seen situations where management just had it in for someone and would try to nail them on every single minor little thing, basically trying to paper their file so that they could fire them without getting sued. So I'm always mindful of that too, that there are two sides to every story. But you can't take in this case an officer's story just on its own merits, but you also can't take the their previous employer's story. You have to kind of weigh the two. So, you know, if he left the other department, there's all kinds of different possibilities. So, but at the same time, I know you guys are getting tired of me saying this, but at the same time, there's that reasonable person test. Now, I've heard everybody say that there was a lot going on and officers have a lot more to worry about than just one thing. But at the same time, what would a reasonable person have done? So think now to all the times that we've seen, like on police activity, they'll pit somebody and then the cars will swarm around them. And then once the suspect is in custody, they'll move the suspect vehicle out of the way. So the reasonable person in me is asking, why did that not happen here with the police vehicle? Why didn't they move to safer quarters?
I think that's actually a very valid
Yeah.
question to ask.
I
And
know I was always taught that once you have a suspect in custody, they're your responsibility.
Yes.
And that includes them smacking
Yeah.
their own head against the window. You got to do something to prevent that.
Yep.
And I do feel there is negligence, but if it's rise to criminal negligence is where I'm drawing the hard issue. Because
Yeah,
Well,
I could agree with.
where
I
an
agree with
actual
that.
investigation is going to have to be.
because right now that we have somebody who is severely injured, and the real question is, does this fall under reckless endangerment? Does this fall under criminal negligence? It definitely falls under professional negligence.
Oh, they're going to get spanked in the department. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt
For
about
nothing else,
that.
the car's wrecked.
Because I do know that she is filing a very large lawsuit.
Oh, undoubtedly.
And
Oh, definitely.
because there are multiple agencies involved in this investigation, the outcome's going to take a bit longer than normal. But since this is a very high profile case, and I personally feel there needs to be some form of judicial punishment for these cops. Maybe loss of certification to be a law enforcement officer, maybe definitely demotions if they have any promotions of supervised roles or whatever.
Well, you mentioned other departments. The question to be asked is, have they brought in another department to investigate this issue?
Yes.
They have, okay. Which is a smart thing on multiple levels.
The Colorado Bureau of Investigations is investigating it. The department, I don't know the actual department's name that manages the say.
Well, I think it's pretty cut and dried who fucked up here. The fucking cop that left his car in the tracks and the female that put the suspect in the car. And yes, they probably should. I don't know at what level they should, receive their punishment. I just don't think it was criminal. I just think it was stupidity.
The problem being, though, that in this day and age, you look at the news coverage of police departments, and it's like it seems like anytime someone messes up, they get fired. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's what I see when I look at the news. And I know they say that things are supposed to be handled according to policy internally, but part of me is wondering, would they take more severe action against an officer? I don't want to say guilty of misconduct, but I don't know any other words to use. Guilty of misconduct of this type and severity. What other action could they conceivably take that would balance public safety with the officer's career? I mean, I explained that poorly, but you get what I'm saying?
I'm back.
Yeah.
Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
there's people that want to see this cop crucified for making a stupid mistake.
Now, I'm not talking about crucifying the man. But
No, I'm not saying you are, but that's what the public wants.
I know.
You look at the comment section of the things, and there's people that say this man should be thrown into jail. They should both be thrown into jail. I don't see that they willfully did it. It was just stupidity. It was a major mistake. And yes, they should be maybe even as much as fired and lose their credentials or whatever. But I don't think they did it on purpose. It isn't like they went in there and said, all right, there's going to be a train coming. Let's put this bitch in the car and let it get hit by the fucking train. That didn't happen,
Like I said, personally, my personal opinion is I do feel that there should be some form of judicial punishment with, law, with the legal system. I mean, there is negligence there, but does it arrive to reckless endangerment or criminal negligence?
Well,
That's the real issue.
you've already made your decision because you said there should be some type of judicial punishment. So you think they should be prosecuted for something?
Yeah, but I'm not talking about throwing away the key. Talking about throwing away the key. If they need to be,
If they made a mistake, what's the point of it's like people make mistakes and their children die or something like that. But then there's always that somebody that's like, let's lock those motherfuckers in jail for the rest of their lives and shit. It's like, wow, man, that's fucked up.
Well, the question to ask when someone makes a mistake, at least this is my approach, comes in two parts. What is the severity of the mistake that they did make? And then two, what is their capacity to learn from this mistake? And hence, what is the likelihood that the mistake will be repeated?
Well, to me, to be prosecuted for something, it would have had to have been willful. And I don't see anything that was willful on their part. Negligence, I agree, but it wasn't willful. They didn't do it on purpose. They didn't set out to see this woman get hit by a train.
Right.
And that's where I see that criminal negligence would start with they did it on purpose. And I don't see anything willful or that says they did it on purpose at all. It was just stupid.
I don't see it being willful. I see it as just pure, simple negligence. I mean,
I agree,
they didn't
100%.
They didn't look at things carefully enough to prevent it from happening, but they didn't do it on purpose.
Now, what I'm saying, the law, the legal system should take, part of this. I am not, saying straight prosecution. It could be civil law. It could be criminal law. I just feel that that's what it should be, because they do need not a slap on the wrist, but some kind of a punishment, be it financial because of a civil suit or a criminal investigation with criminal.
You ever make mistakes?
I have, and I own up to them.
Should you have been fucking criminally charged with every mistake you've ever made? No. Even if it ended up somebody else getting hurt? They're cops. They're fucking sent to fucking do a job. If they weren't doing their fucking job, it wouldn't have never happened. They made a mistake. They fucked up. If they get fired for it, that's one thing. But they didn't do it on purpose, so I don't see why they should be sued or fucking prosecuted for it. Isn't it good enough that they got fired?
In the current climate, I would say certain.
I don't give a fuck about the. I don't have mob mentality. I don't go along with the current climate. I'm talking about my own morals and everything like that. I think it's ridiculous that sometimes people are charged in like somebody has an accident and somebody else in their car is killed. And yeah, there was some form of negligence on the driver of the vehicle and one of the passengers was killed. But sometimes it was just a mistake. But then they throw that person in fucking jail for it. It's like, wow, man, that's fucked up.
I agree with you. I only pointed it out because as much as I agree with you, I don't think we can ignore the greater zeitgeist, if you will.
Well, if they do get prosecuted for it, it'll be because of the mob mentality of the citizens.
Yeah,
people will pressure them to. We got to get that motherfucker.
No,
hang on. He's a cop. I hate cops. I got to get that motherfucker.
Gator, that's not the only reason they get prosecuted for it. Don't forget, we got an election next month.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, see, like I said, that's still all. I look at it in black and white. Basically, did they do it on purpose? If they didn't do it on purpose, it's just a stupid ass fucking mistake. They get fired for it and shit like that. Let's say I'm driving a fucking forklift at work. I knock down a whole bunch of fucking shit, make a big fucking, cost my employer a whole bunch of money. Should I be fired? Yeah, probably. Should I be arrested for doing it because I made a stupid mistake? I don't think so. Should I have to pay for my stupid mistake? No. Wouldn't have been doing it if it wasn't for, that was my job.
In that example, I would say arrest should only factor in if you imbibed apple juice before you did it.
I don't drink a lot of apple juice. It gives me the shits.
Or some really good honey.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Hey, you.
Hey,
Is that our tech? Hey, buddy.
No, see, I don't.
This is the Armenian flag on my avatar. I like it.
I was
Who-
wondering
who-
what it
who are-
was, but okay.
Who are we speaking to here? I'm sorry. With
Hey,
that
you-
banner up, it doesn't say who the people are on the panel.
It's Artsac Union, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I know that. I know that guy.
Hey, AU, good to finally be on panel with you.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine.
And a hush fell over the
That better,
crowd.
Gator?
Yeah. I'm not. I'm just pointing it out.
Yes,
You can't see that. You can't see who's talking with when the banners are up.
Don't lie, you were so overawed by being
You
joined
fucking
by-
I was right. I'm fucking
Don't lie,
just
you were
steaming, pissed off here about the whole fucking world.
Don't lie, you were so overawed by being joined by Artsac Union, it struck you speechless.
Yes, it did.
No
That
shame.
was it.
Deer in the headlights.
Yeah, Gator in the headlights.
All right.
I will say, so it's
Yeah.
it's
So
a little bit of
NCR
a tangent. It's a little bit of a tangent, but I will say on the subject of prosecutions, whatever your feelings about the trial that just wrapped up in Wisconsin, watching the judge in that case, it gives me something of a renewed faith in segments of the justice system. I don't want to get any more specific than that for fear of touching something off, but yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
judge had more patience than I ever could. There's many times I was like, jump over the bench, smack the crap out of him, run back to the bench.
I would like to note that the judge in that case was not named John McBain. And if
Judge
nobody gets the reference, John McBain is the judge that
Yeah.
leaped off his bench, tore off his robe, and yelled, "Tase his ass!" to his bailiff when a defendant was being difficult.
Now, was that also the one that was in Michigan over the restraining order? Because that one sounds familiar to me.
John McBain has made headlines for quite a few things. I'm not. He may have been over a restraining order case, but if so, I am not aware of that.
Is it wrong of me that when you said McBain, my mind immediately went Simpsons?
So I was just thinking that myself. McBain. Is that fucking McBain again?
Wolfcastle
Well,
McBain.
it is Brandon's favorite day. It is Screw Flanders Day.
You better believe it. And the reason I've got my avatar up is because it's like I'm wearing nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
You know they made that pop, right?
Say again?
They made a Funko Pop of Sexy Flanders.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
Just curious, which one of you is Brandon? Obviously, it's not. Who was speaking?
Brandon, eh? I used to know a Brandon
Me
back
too.
in high school.
All right, I still didn't get that because I didn't see your thing go up. Who's
TFBR
Brandon?
2002.
Oh,
is
okay, you're
Brandon.
Brandon. Okay.
A lot of
I'm not
people know
Brandon.
me as B Squared Life Explained.
Which that's not even my name, actually.
What's that?
I'm just saying Brandon's not my name.
Oh,
Oh, I thought it was this other guy over in the pencil neck.
I do not consider
That's actually that's not my real name.
anyone by that name.
Hey, I got a secret for you. Gator's not my real name either.
no.
No, I made it up.
See, you
Dude,
could
how'd you do that?
My real
See,
name's
you could've-
Beckerwood.
Well, see, you could have totally gotten away with saying your first name was Wally and Gator was your last name.
Yeah,
Then Hanna
'cause I'm
Barbera
the-
would have come after
I'm
you.
the biggest operator in the swamp.
I thought his first name was Ali.
Yeah. And I got another secret for you. That's not really my picture. That's Will Ferrell.
Daniel.
It's not really my picture either.
To the Sexy Flanders in private chat.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now, and I'm like, how did I not know that this was a thing? Oh my
Sexy
god!
Flanders
Okay,
Funko.
so NCR, as far as the two subs leaving you for making a video critical of 3 officers, the heck with them is what I got to say. As I told you earlier, if we're going to call out stupidity like we do with the frauditors and the sovereign citizens, then we damn sure better be able to call it out when we see it with law enforcement as well.
Yes.
Well, like I said, even though I don't agree with the way you titled your thing with the bad cop thing, I don't fault you for, giving your opinion on the subject. That's your fucking opinion. You're entitled to it.
Well, I would add too that sub count isn't necessarily a singular indicator of success or popularity, because I mean you get trolls and everything else. So the 2 that you lost could just as easily have been like fake accounts that got shut down. But I would argue that having the right subs matters more than having a zillion of them. So, like, I'm saying that a sub channel is still fairly modest, and I just say my piece, and you know how they say, do you, and the right crowd will love you for it. YouTube is kind of the same way, I think. If you need to call something out, call it out. And if people unsubscribe, then they're not the type of people that you want to associate with anyway. So I would almost argue you're better off without them.
And I'm not worried about the sub count. That's not the thing. Is I didn't want to come off as like a cop basher, because I'm not that. I will admit, yeah, I've had bad experiences with cops. I've had good experiences with cops. But do I think all cops are bad? No. Cops are people. Some people suck.
Yeah.
But
How many subs do you have now anyway?
598.
98?
598.
Okay.
I have 598.
Oh, 598. I'm sorry. I didn't hear the 500.
But I'm not concerned about losing subs. It was like, for me, it was because I've become friends with some cops. I know good cops, and I didn't want to come off as a cop bash because I've seen too many of those channels out there where they're bashing cops just doing their job.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't find any fault with what you did. It was news. You reported on it. You gave your opinion. If people don't like your opinion that much that they feel as though they need to, unsubscribe from your channel, I mean, that's their prerogative too. I do it all the time. I get pissed off about shit. I probably shouldn't, but I do. I leave people's servers. I leave people's Discords. I fucking unsubscribe to channels.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see you as a cop basher. I see you as calling out stupid, whether it's on the frauditor and soft sit side or whether you're calling out one of us or the cops doing something stupid.
I definitely think we can all agree that was pretty stupid.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think anybody's to say, oh, yeah, that was a smart thing they did there.
Well, what CA just described, the importance of holding our own accountable, I think that speaks to the main difference between us as the debunker community and the people that we debunk. They are never willing to call out members of their community for the dumb things that they do, and there's no accountability. As KFAR would say, there's very little intellectual honesty on that side of the fence. So Kick would say we have to do better, and I agree with that. So in a very real way, NCR, what you did with your video was, nothing more and nothing less than that. So
because I was trying to get a second video to go with it, because I had came across that story and then a second one where a chief was stopped in a ghost car from a neighboring town, and then he didn't get a ticket or nothing. It was coming up to a truck instead of a car, and he threw a hissy fit and punished the town by cutting off their access to the 911 signal for 4 hours.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious. So they had to contact.
Shirley can't be serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
They had to contact the county sheriff to borrow their signal.
Well, isn't interruption of access to 911 off the top of my head that is potentially abuse of official position, That's deprivation of critical services.
It's also an FCC violation.
Yes, there you go. I knew I was forgetting something. So that's, at that point, an action like that is legally actionable under, if it's an FCC thing, then it's actionable under federal law. So that's dumb.
I was trying to track down that video to put it in there to show, look, I'm not just calling out this, I'm actually calling out what is wrong here with this situation. And that situation
Walking to CA.
with cutting off the access to 911 services, or at least to the signal, not just endangers, the town, but anybody within that frequency range, be it someone of that town or not. And all this was because he was stopped and he felt he needed to punish the two officers who didn't even give him a ticket.
Yeah, but I mean, let's look at this. So we were talking about the difference between negligence and criminal negligence earlier. So without knowing exactly what was happening during that 4-hour window, I would question, were there any fatalities? Were there any crimes committed? Was there anything that might have been affected had law enforcement been available and accessible? And if there was, then full liability for that falls on the guy who interrupted service, because that's kind of a big no-no.
I would consider that criminal negligence regardless of what happened.
I would argue it goes a step beyond criminal negligence. That's I don't know what the next crime up is, but whatever it is, that's what it is.
If you have means, motive, and opportunity, you have a crime.
Yeah, but it goes past that though, because what he did in disabling access to 911, that runs squarely counter to their responsibilities as sworn Leos. So that's beyond. Somebody help me out on this. That's beyond.
It's an integrity violation.
It's integrity violation, but that's malicious intent. I don't know.
He's morally corrupt.
Well, yeah, exactly.
He's gonna burn in hell for all fucking eternity now. I don't know what there is beyond criminal negligence, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean,
well, I guess it would kind of depend
quick,
on what exactly happened. Because if there's loss of life, then you would be at risk for accessory to manslaughter.
Yep.
Sounds reasonable.
So, Rennie, we were discussing the three officers that left a suspect in a patrol car parked on train tracks, and then the patrol unit got hit by a train. That's what you came in on.
Yeah. And Rennie, you missed a rather priceless discussion about how stupid and sexy Ned Flanders is. Stupid, sexy Flanders.
I posted a link to the actual Funko in the private chat.
Yeah. Already did that.
What?
Funko Vinyl Pops have made a line of Simpsons figures, but they also made the reference of Brandon's joke of stupid, sexy Flanders into a Funko Pop, and the expression on the face is his eyes closed, smiling with his butt shaking.
It's true to the scene in the cartoon, though. You can't make this stuff up.
Okay, so moving on to the next topic, community happenings. How many people watched Ironton Auditor stream last night? I know me.
Oh, dear God, don't even get us started.
I have not watched it yet. I heard a lot about it, but I have not watched it yet.
I tuned in a little bit after Kick went up, and let's just say it was a train wreck with a dumpster fire. To put it in perspective, you had Ironton Auditor
actually
was there, Wolverine Transparency, and a couple of other folks came and went, and nobody could get a word in edgewise while Wolverine Transparency was up. People in chat, including me, were pleading with Ironton Auditor to mute Wolverine Transparency so that others could speak, and it was crazy. Ironton Auditor finally got fed up and just kicked them. And it's worth noting that the whole time that Wolverine Transparency, I'm just going to call him Wolvie because it's less of a mouthful, but the whole time Wolvie was going off on his insane, unhinged rant, Kick was just sitting there being silent and professional and attentive and respectful. And to me, that's as good a metaphor for the difference between our community and theirs that you can get.
Yeah, but
Rennie,
I've seen people on this.
Up.
I've seen people on this side of the fence get pretty unfucking hinged too.
Oh yeah, it's not an absolute, but I'm talking about the law of averages.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, last night it started off with Kick in the chat asking who Wolvie was, and I'm like, "Hey, Kick, it's Wolverine Transparency." And Kick's like, "Ironton Auditor, can you give me a link? I want to come up. I got some questions I want to ask."
Mm-hmm.
And
Wolverine Transparency, the guy that went out with Josh over to K-Far's house?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
What Brandon didn't see.
Oh God, there's more that I didn't see.
Was
God.
Wolverine Transparency actually thought Kick was K-Far at one point.
Are you serious?
Yes. I'm like, wait a second. Yes, both of their names start with a K, but two completely different individuals.
How does one conflate Kick with K-Far? I mean, their avatars are different. Like you said, the names are completely different. Like the K is the only thing they have in common. That's some real stupidity right there.
Yeah.
Well, I've noticed this about Wolvie's behaviors when it comes to his videos and teaming up with Broken System and Freaking Media and MCC. He is like the loudest mouth of all of them.
Yes, he is. The highlighted comment from Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind, I think, nails it. Because when you listen, I listened to Wolvie as much as I could stand last night until they brought him back up. But when you listen to Wolvie's unhinged rant last night, what's going on, Sovereign Soul? I was just about to describe what was happening last night with Wolvie, but maybe this is your story to tell more than that. I was just about to describe what.
Yeah, Sovereign, since you're up here on panel, and welcome, by the way.
Welcome.
Go ahead
welcome.
and tell us.
Well, I'll tell you, it was hard to get a word in edgewise. What I figured out was a lot of real Chilleistic type of behavior with this guy. It almost appears as though he wants to be offended by whatever anybody says, and immediately wants to go with all the typical Marxist terms of, I don't know, what was the term he used? Ableist. And,
he used a couple of other ists too.
What's that?
He used a couple of other ists too, along with ableist.
Yeah. I don't do isms. I don't do ists. That's just bullshit. And it's somebody trying to be a professional victim. Oh, you said that. That means you're this type of a person, or you're just like a cop because of this. And and it's like, hold the fucking phone. Quit trying to quantify everybody into some kind of a phylum and into some kind of it doesn't work like that. And
you and IA held it together in the face of his provocations, shall we say, for a lot longer than I probably would have in y'all's place. So got to give you major props to that.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it wasn't easy. If you notice, several times I had to take my camera off, and I just left out of the room, out of where this was going on. I was like, this guy just won't let anybody say anything. He's constantly griping about how everything is against him. I would have never even known he had one arm. I would have never even known that until he went on about it. And then when I did try to bring it up, and I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt by saying, "Hey, look, I know what that's like. If somebody wants to go after you and attack you for something you have no control over, that's bullshit. I can dig that." He wouldn't even let me get that out. I was actually trying to defend him on that. Now, I didn't hear Kick say anything. Of course, I wasn't really listening. I had a lot of shit going on. And plus, after his mouth was rolling for long enough, it's just sort of like a machinery noise as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I've seen him audit with MCC and Freak Media at a indirect D over in Michigan at a water treatment plant, and he tried to play the sympathy card of, "Oh, I've only got the one arm, I've got this," to get away from the cops, but then he starts immediately shit talking them. So I don't trust anything he says. And then with the whole thing of him going to K-Far's house, that was crossing a line that he knew intentionally what he was doing.
Well, that begs the question, though. There's a difference of opinion out there. Did he know where Broken System, Broken Trust was leading him, or was he just playing the fool? Well, I don't think he was playing the fool. I think he was a fool, but you get what I'm saying.
Oh no, I totally believe he was knowing where to go.
I don't even. I'm not even familiar with what the video is. I really am not. I didn't watch the video. I didn't know what was going on with the thing. I was hoping to gain some information on that last night. That's where I was kind of going. I would like to know a little bit more about it. Well, now I don't give a shit. Now I don't even give a shit. The dude was just a complete tool. Mm-hmm. He doesn't let anybody talk. He talks over people. When you're trying to explain to him why talking over people, he starts talking over you. And I'm like, this guy, I don't know if any of you have ever played around with CB radios.
Yes.
Yeah, you cannot receive when you're keyed up on your mic. Nothing's coming through. And this guy's mic is continuously fucking keyed up. He just doesn't go, okay, I'll shut up for a minute and listen so that then I can give some useful input to what I just heard. No. It's halfway through a sentence and, "Oh, you use that word. That means you're this kind of a ist." And I'm, oh my God, Jesus, go away.
Sovereign Soul, tell him about the best part. Tell him about when IA finally lost his temper and why.
He just come out here and he said, "God damn it, you're not going to talk to me that way. I'm not going to have you just come in here and take over my stream. God damn it, this is my show. Now I'm going to talk." And he went off and did it. You missed it even better because backstage after the show, I was like down here. I wasn't like public, but I was able to listen to it. And he was trying to explain his point of view over to Terry. But there again, it was only like, "Hey, you're going to agree with what I tell you, or I'm going to keep talking over you until you do." And finally, Terry just fucking booted him out of there too. I'm not talking to this fool. So that's not an activist to me. That's just a professional victim that looks for reasons to be offended. I've got another one that I deal with like that. And listen, I don't want to even entertain the idea that that's any kind of an activist, because you don't get anything done like that. If I'm upset about the way that Bob Evans makes biscuits and gravy, right? Am I going to go in there and bitch at the waitress about it? No. In fact, I might get a little headway if I went to the manager, but then you're going to find out that, oh, this is a corporate policy, so I have to go higher than that. But standing there belittling the waitress or the dishwasher or even the cook for that matter, because you disagree with the way that the food is cooked, is not going to get you anywhere.
Well,
and so then you can scream that, "Oh, I'm being oppressed, and these people don't give a shit, and they're being tyrants. That waitress is just a bitch because I don't like how the biscuits and gravy are made." That's what you got.
Well, Sovereign, compare that description to what we saw of the Darrell Brooks trial. What you just described, I think, is a good allegory for what was happening during the Brooks trial. Because think about it. you look at how Daryl Brooks was behaving in court, and especially when he was questioning his ex-girlfriend on the stand, the look on his face was one of, I don't know a good way to describe it, so I'm just going to say he felt like he was in complete control of the situation. But then look at what was happening when he got schooled by the judge, and that stare down. That was someone who was realizing that he was not in control,
Yeah.
and that someone else was schooling him. And the takeaway that I got from that was and this is a parallel to what you just described, but the takeaway I got from that was that Daryl Brooks is someone who is accustomed to being able to bully and intimidate his way to getting what he wants. And watching what Wolvie was doing last night, I got the same impression. And it seemed like when nobody was buying his BS, that's when his mouth started moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I'll shut up now.
Yeah. Well, I didn't watch much of the Daryl Brooks case because, as far as I was concerned, it's like, look, you don't even have a defense. This is a formality. This is just a formality. I mean, the reality of it is you caused loss, injury, and harm. You did it willfully. People saw you do it. That's not in dispute. There's nothing in dispute. And so if you want to try to run the sovereign route or go with the commercial court route, it doesn't fucking matter. You caused loss, injury, and harm, and all of that is out the window. Now, as far as his behavior, I was amazed that was allowed to go on like a circus as long as it was. And I actually have to say that I believe that the Daryl Brooks trial, the fiasco that everybody was focused on and watching, that circus, as far as I'm concerned, it was really kind of a circus.
Yeah, it was.
What were they distracting us from? What was going on that they wanted us to look at something else like the Daryl Brooks circus? Because you have to admit, we've got people here that have experience with the legal system and shit. I mean, come on, that was a circus. That was an absolute circus. They let more shit go on in that court than I have ever seen them allowed to go on.
I was wondering about that initially, but I really think two things. I really think first, Daryl Brooks thought, well, let me back up. Three things. One, even though he was spouting the SovSit script, I don't actually believe that Daryl Brooks was a SovSit. Because think about it. Anytime he learned something new on any front, that was all we heard for 2 or 3 days. And the SovSit stuff was no exception. Two, initially, my gut said that in trying to present the SovSit defense the way that he did, he was trying to set up an insanity defense, really and truly.
Mm-hmm.
Three, and most importantly, Judge Doro has the patience of a saint. And you're exactly right. They let a lot of things go that a practicing licensed attorney would never have been able to get away with.
Right.
My theory on that, though, was that she did it precisely to preclude an appeal. In other words, he was trying to represent himself based on shaky understandings at best. So if he was found guilty, as he indeed was, inevitably he would have tried to claim, well, my rights were violated. I wasn't given adequate chance to do this, that, and the other. So in letting him have the degree of latitude that she did, I really think Judge Doro was laying the groundwork to say, nope, he had every opportunity and then some.
Maybe. I still think that it was a media-driven campaign to keep us distracted from something else that was going on. I mean, I really do. That's what you look at some important shit, like the Ghislaine Maxwell. It wasn't televised. We heard a little bit about it. And then the Johnny Depp with his girlfriend pooping on his bed. Oh, that one was every day. Everybody watching that all day long. It's selected distractions away from other important things that they don't want you looking at. I really do. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. The dude ran over a bunch of people at a parade. Put him up.
I think I know what it is.
What's that, Gator?
The Tom Brady, Giselle Bundchen divorce saga.
Well, that's
I heard
another
them
one.
announced they were divorced today.
See,
I'm just being sarcastic, just being a smart ass.
I mean, that's where we're at. We're in a tabloid society.
I tend to agree
easy
with Saga.
to push this button and get somebody over here. Let's look at this. Don't look at this over here. Let's look at this. Oh, look at the mess, everybody. Oh, can you believe Amber Heard pooped on the guy's bed? Oh my God.
Yes.
Meanwhile, you got all this other shit that's really important that's actually happening, and nobody's paying any attention to it.
Like the upcoming election, maybe.
Yeah.
that would be one.
It could be a number of things. That's why anytime I see something like that, I go back and I look through the news cycle. And I'm like, all right, what is it that they're wanting me to not look at?
I tend to agree with Sovereign Soul on this, because if you look at what's really going on with some of the high profile cases not getting as much coverage as something like the Johnny Depp trial, or something like, you know, the January 6th incident, we're not seeing a lot of coverage of that unless it's somebody more famous or political that they can scapegoat. But when we see more of this, you know, the tabloid driven court cases, you kind of do feel like they're hiding something from.
I was actually surprised at how little was spoken about this case before the trial. From the time it happened to the trial, that wasn't hardly spoken of at all in the mainstream media. The Darrell Brooks case.
No, you didn't hear anything about it. It almost gotten to the point where people had just about forgotten about it.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, and that's how things are. The attention span of the American public is very, very short, and this has been engineered to be so. And it's getting worse and worse with, well, you look at, you can remember back in the day when the 6 o'clock news came on, Harry Reasoner or whatever come on the thing, and there's a clock back here, maybe about 5 or 6 clocks telling the world time at different places, and he read the news. Now what you've got is this screen with a little chyron going. You got stock tickers going over here. Oh, look up in this window. Here's a car chase happening over in LA. And then they're going to interview this guy and talk. And oh my God, here we are with breaking news. And what this is doing is causing like an artificial attention deficit disorder in people. It really is, because they can't keep their attention on any one thing for any period of time that would allow any kind of deep thinking on it. And so we're flashing to this, and we're flashing to this, and we're flashing over here to this, and then we flash over here to this. And consequently, people, instead of delving into the information, all they're doing is looking at the headline. And there's where they got their news, right there. You know, and without reading the context of the headline, it gets blown. You know, this is exactly where we're at, and why people go flying off the hook over shit that they don't need to be.
You know,
gang, I hate to do this, but adulting calls, adulting sucks, #adulting sucks. But I got a dash, but wanted to say thanks to CA for having me up. Sovereign Soul, good to be on panel with you. I admire your patience last night once again. NCR, Damien, Logan, Gator, all are great folks. So hopefully we will get to do this again soon.
Hopefully.
See you later, Brandon.
All right.
Y'all be good.
Good one.
See you, Brandon.
I was going to say this. This is
right.
not me trying to make a joke on it, because this is what the last thing I want to say on it is. Sovereign was kind of right. Have you ever seen the movie Anchorman 2? When he was trying to beat his ex-wife or estranged wife at the time's sweeps piece while she had that world leader. What did he do? It's like, oh, well, we could just cut to this car chase in California, and draws everyone's attention to something that was just irrelevant.
Yep. They do that constantly. They'll do that constantly. It's sort of like, oh, look over here at the shiny. Oh, look over here at the shiny. And people will, and then they'll make it to where, unfortunately, if the more Jerry Springer-ish it is, the more attention it's going to get. I've noticed that on my channel. If I do something on anything meaningful or deep, I get 500-600 views. I do one on what a train wreck De Castro is, and I get thousands of views. And what's that tell me? That tells me that's people want to gravitate toward that mess. Now to figure out why. Why do they like to see such a terrible thing, such a fall of someone, or something tragic that happens to somebody else? Why do they like that? Well, it's because they're angry. They don't know why, but if they see something that makes it look like their life doesn't suck as bad as they think, at least I'm not that guy. You know, I think it's along those lines. I really do.
I mean, I seen the same thing, Sovereign, when it came to me covering Jeremy DeWitt last year. I put out a video last year about a couple that got in trouble for impersonating security in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few weeks later, I put out a video on new information I had discovered on Jeremy DeWitt. The couple in Florida, right next to Jeremy DeWitt, that were charged with impersonating security, those videos got like maybe 200 views, 300 views. The Jeremy DeWitt one, over 22,000.
Yep. And that's just it right there. I mean, my God, that's what got me too. And even with the publication, you know, the just pushing it at you through media. There was the Ghislaine Maxwell case, and that got very little coverage. People didn't look into anything, including the judge. Oh my God, go back. That was an Obama appointee. And that was, in fact, I found some old shit I had on when she got appointed. Nobody paid much attention. And here's this world-class pedophile sex trafficking ring, and no names, no clients, nobody busted, big names. Nope, keep it under wraps. We ain't going to say anything about that. Look over here at the Kardashians instead. Oh, did you see what Kanye did? Oh my God. Oh, can you believe Kanye? Meanwhile, you've got all this crap going on and nobody paying any damn attention to it because they're more interested in the Jerry Springer mess. And also it's selective. I look at the media kind of like, if somebody were to put a box on your face and you can only see what's in the view of that box. Only problem is somebody else is controlling where your head looks. You see, Oh, look, there's a mud puddle. That means this whole area is a mud puddle and everybody's poor and shit. You see, it's all selective. I've watched them take 5 or 6 people with signs and have them stand real close together and then have a news person standing there acting, and they zoom in on it and try to make it like it's a huge thousands of people are there and they're with this little clustered group to discuss what the protest is, and it's nothing. It's not even really happening. But you can make that. I mean, look what Ironton Auditor and I did with just a couple of short minute-long clips of video. We got Chille to believe that Ironton Auditor had been arrested. And
that was epic.
And I mean, I knew exactly everything that guy was going to do. I knew right down to it. I said, he'll go live within an hour of this information coming out. He'll probably name the video something to do with Back the Blue Till It Happens to You. And I said, he will also have his moon pie face on the camera gloating and happy that you've been arrested. I said, that's when we nail it right there. I'll be dang, it didn't even take 40 minutes. Didn't even take 40 minutes.
Did you see the short he released after he deleted the live stream bragging about Terry getting arrested?
Yep. I downloaded it.
I broke that shit down and put it in a video the other day. I'm like, what the hell? How does that prove that you can get arrested for anything?
God, I know. Well, y'all, I want to thank y'all for letting me come on up on here, but I got the regular Sunday afternoon stuff to do here, and I'm glad you let me put in my 2 cents today.
Hey, Sovereign, it's good being on panel with you, man.
Hey, Sovereign, you're welcome up here anytime.
Nice chatting with you.
Yeah, man.
You have a channel?
You're about the only person that will get up here and will have an actual decent conversation and not start yelling.
What? It's not that never goes anywhere. It's if you're gonna have this is what the problem is that too many people are acting from a place of pathos rather than coming from a place of logos. And when you react through those of you maybe don't know, pathos is emotion, logos is logic. Okay.
I thought that was 2 of the 3 Musketeers.
And D'Artagnan. Don't forget about D'Artagnan. But what happens when you operate from a place of pathos and putting logos on the side, as a result of that, you end up with making poor decisions. You really do. And unfortunately, people are operating from a place of pathos without actually logically thinking about things. Like right now, I have somebody who's like, "Oh, I'm going to release your criminal record." And I said, "Well, stand in line. I've already talked about my criminal record." Right? Like they're going to cut a big hog in the ass about it or something. And it's like, well, first off, your information is half wrong because I can show you, I've openly discussed this stuff anyways. And what they're doing is they're coming from a place of pathos. Why? Because I called them out on lies. This is somebody who's out there wanting to talk about, I'm going to write a book about this corruption in Ironton, Ohio, and all this stuff that happened while she was a police officer, right? So she comes on and she says, I actually witnessed Officer Chad Gu abuse a prisoner who was in handcuffs, split his head on the wall. And you saw this happen, and you were a sergeant. And what did you do as a result of witnessing this? Nothing at all. So doesn't that make you as bad, if not worse, than the officer that supposedly committed this aggression? Isn't it your job to correct your subordinate?
It's like that, was it Einstein quote? All it takes for evil to succeed is for good men to do nothing.
There you go. So now, after you're out of any possible harm's way or repercussion for saying anything, now you're going to come out and say something about it? Well, it makes you no better than the people you accuse. Not one bit. She turns around and she wants to turn things around. When I found out, she said, I was fired because I'm a woman and those men are always picking on. Everything's a sexist thing, just like our friend Wolfie was doing. Everything is because of my arm. Everything is because I'm a woman. Everything's because I'm black. You see, you get these professional victims like that. And when I pointed out the fact that, well, you didn't do anything about this, you were fired from the police department for falsifying a document. Well, I used my officer discretion. Well, no, you're loosely interpreting officer discretion. When you pull somebody over for having bad tags and you find out that that person has been drinking, you don't have them call their granddaughter to come and assume the ticket for no plates. I mean, that's sort of like tampering with evidence. You pull over somebody and you know them and they're drunk and their tags are expired. And so you don't want to have them taken to jail or their car towed. So it's officer discretion for you to call and have the woman's granddaughter come and act like she was driving the car and receive the ticket? Really? I mean, how is that wrong to be fired for that? If you did that as a favor to somebody, how does that preclude you from doing the same thing against somebody you don't like? Manufacturing evidence, because you just manufactured evidence in this case to get somebody not to get in trouble. So you would do the same thing to get somebody into trouble. Therefore, you are not capable of handling the responsibility and duties that are charged to you by holding that badge. It's that simple. Yeah, she didn't like that. Now she says it's because it's men picking on women. I told her, I says, look, man, if you didn't tell anybody, nobody'd even know you was a woman, Good God. Anyway, I'm out. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Simon. We'll see you later.
Take care, man.
What the hell did I get myself into?
Yeah, you're late.
Hey, I'm not late. I show up exactly when I mean to. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Well, we're on to the final topic, guys. For the final topic, we actually have a video to play.
Ooh.
Someone hit 500 subs just the other night. So now it's time to gather around all the friends and have a toast to the next big YouTube star that's going to the road. Well, it's a great day to roast somebody's ass. It's a big day, so people get ready to laugh. It's time to roast another YouTuber's ass. It's a great day to roast somebody's ass. That's right, everybody. Get ready, because Friday, I'm getting roasted. I hit 500 subs. We've roasted NCR. We've roasted Mark. It's time for mine.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to get Sweet Cheeks Commentator Auditor roasted harder than Chille the Castro at a glory hole.
Hey.
I don't want to know how that works.
What's one, Chille getting roasted or Chille at a glory hole?
Either.
Well, you know Chille, he's always a good receiver.
Somebody's echoing.
It was Damien. Yeah. So for those who are joining and have no idea what we're talking about when it comes to the roast, myself, NCR, Mando Mike, and Mark the Sarcastic Law Student all agreed that we would get roasted by everybody from our subscribers to our fellow content creators who watch our stuff live, and everybody gets to participate.
Are you going to invite any frauditors?
Frauditors
Can we invite Chille?
Want to, oh hell no, Chille will sue me. Have you seen how many damn music videos I've done on Chille? I will get sued. I will get a cease and desist and a lawsuit all in the same roast.
You won't get sued. You'll just
But
get
you know what though?
interdiction.
You know what though? CA Chille would like you though. He'll write out the cease and desist and scented crayons just for you.
Scented crayons. Ooh.
Hi, sis.
Hi, Amanda.
Hey, everybody.
Amanda.
Hey, guys. Y'all are just
Mandy,
awesome.
Mandy.
No, thank you for bringing me up. I was waiting for you to talk about the roast. So, yes, everyone, please join us. It will be on my channel. And that way we can burn and roast Commentator Auditor. So mark your calendars again for Friday, November the 4th at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Okay.
Well, I'm just lucky. I'm not quite close enough to 500 yet to be worried.
Oh,
well,
we'll get you there.
You're getting, yeah, we need to get you there. And that's the thing.
Oh, my.
Please go to my brother, Mando Mike's channel and go sub because we need to get him roasted because he was the one that actually brought up this idea. So let's roast the man who actually thought of this idea and then also thought of the 1,000 subscriber idea where we will do an event for auction for Mark and then charity event. But everyone who reaches the 1,000 will get the charity event roast.
Well, NCR is going to wax his chest live on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you know what though? Here's the thing: he can wax his chest this time, but when he gets to the 5,000 subscribers, he got to wax his balls.
Ooh.
Actually, not. Yeah, aren't you?
If he does that, I'll need a charity.
Is that something you'd like to see?
I think it'd be funny to hear him yell, especially when he does his chest or something or his back. That would be funny.
Well, I
That
mean,
would
just remember how he yelled when the chair broke and the pole went up his ass. Just
Oh my gosh, yes. Shit. Oh,
Shit,
Yeah.
shit, shit, shit,
So
shit.
yes.
I misspoke last night on Mando's stream and said that my roast will be the only roast without a roast song. Apparently, Mando's got other plans.
And knowing Mando and his mind, I mean, even though he'll tell us a few things, but he's like really digging deep in his thought process and keeping some secrets behind in a file drawer cabinet, and so he'll get you. He'll get you.
whoa! I am mostly innocent, only because I'm smart enough not to do it where there's cameras.
Hey, Mama Bear's here. Hello, Mama Bear. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't
I'm
mean to
not
interrupt.
saying that I have,
So you say, Mando, but
but I'm not
we've
saying that I have things
we've
in
seen your
mind. But
OnlyFans page.
hey, that was an
Yes.
unauthorized OnlyFans page. Thank you.
Yeah, chair
Well,
break.
now we've found that Mark has one.
OnlyFans.com/Mando's missing codpiece.
Oh, it's not missing anymore. We know where it is. Miss Mandy has it. She won't give it back.
Yes. So mix them together and get like Klondike Destroyer
Well, it's your
uh,
Yeah.
fault because you wanted to give
So
it
as
Miss
cod
to
piece.
Mandy.
Yeah, so Mandy's OnlyFans is onlyfans.com/Klondike Destroyer 69. Then Mark the Sarcastic Wanker is onlyfans.com/Wanker for life.
Mm-hmm.
And Damien's
He changed
OnlyFans
it, by the way,
account.
Mando. It's now forwards. Mark changed his OnlyFans. It's now onlyfans.com/Good Honey Butter Boy.
That's right.
Well, let's not forget Damien just opened up his OnlyFans account. It's onlyfans.com/Wake the fuck up.
Yes, because he likes to fall asleep. And even though he got a new bed, I
Well,
don't understand. But
like,
again,
here's me. It's bloody 5:30 in the fucking morning here.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's usually in between midnight and 6 a.m. when I get to watch your bloody streams. So excuse me for
Okay.
nodding off.
Hey,
No,
Damien.
it's okay. So if
And
I do
one
4,
last thing. One
okay,
last thing. My OnlyFans is Aussie asshole. Not wake
Did you
the fuck up.
say Aussie asshole or up the asshole?
I don't
Aussie.
blame you, Texas Packet.
what do you say?
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, she says this is keeping her from putting a wheel on the cattle gate. So she's staying.
No, that's funny. Now I've been enjoying reading what y'all have been putting in chat. It's great. But again, commentator, I'm gonna go ahead and say congratulations now because you've already reached the 500, and we want to just keep it growing. So again, if anyone has not told other people about it, or they haven't even liked it themselves, they need to like, share, and subscribe, and make sure they ring that notification bell so that way you do not miss any content from Commentator Auditor.
And don't forget to go check out Commentators Auditors onlyfans.com/donut hole reamer. Or wait, did you decide to go with the onlyfans.com/Krispy Kreme filler?
Ooh, Krispy Kreme donuts. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
No, it's just cream filled.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean,
What's
CH.
Amanda's?
Good question. What is mine?
I would say it, but she would kill me.
No, go ahead, brother. I'm not going to kill you.
It's onlyfans.com/Amanda J King off.
Ah,
And
that's good.
it features special guests such as Mark the Wanker.
I thought it was onlyfans.com/fingerbasket.
No, that's funny. Yes, Mark is my extra
Mark's her
side piece.
freebie.
Yeah, I get the freebie. And then I decided to add Team Skeptic because now I can see why a lot of people just love him. And I've just, I don't know. There's just something about him. And I just think it was so cool that he did come early to Mark's roast just to tell him congratulations. So,
I'm so glad you finished that sentence.
yes, because you like to make me pervert. Oh my God.
You make her purr? Wow.
Yeah, like no, there's like things I'll say,
I
and then he'll turn it and twist it into a perverted conversation. It's funny.
Damn, I need to subscribe to your OnlyFans.
Mando is our community provert.
Yes, I agree.
Just saying.
I agree.
Well, what can I say? It's more fun to be naughty.
Yeah.
And it's all fun and games. See, it's all fun and games with me because I know how to pull out of the jokes.
Yes, you do. I'm not a jokester like you guys, so. But again, just the main thing is, if someone, I'm on the phone, so if someone can kindly put my channel in there, so that way people will know that it's not going to be on this channel, it's going to be on mine to roast and just have a good time. And we want to build up even more subscribers to CA.
Actually, that
I don't know. Do we really?
What? Do we really what?
Do we really want to inflate his head even more?
Just a tad. You know, it never hurts to boost someone's ego.
So Amanda would. What you're saying, Amanda, is that you want CA to have a bigger head.
In the upper sense, not the lower sense.
Hey. In all seriousness,
what's this about Amanda giving CA head?
A big head.
Hey.
In all seriousness, if you're gonna get popular, you have to have a bit of an ego when you do your shows.
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of become a certain type of character, and it has to be upbeat and it has to be outgoing. And look at the popular channels in our community: Team Skeptic, Irish Demon, Blue Bacon.
Mm-hmm. They have that confident and a little bit of not like full arrogance, but enough arrogance to know that they know what they're talking about.
And the showmanship and the enthusiasm that goes along with it.
Yes. I mean, they're all great people. So again, you know, if you want to be big, that's great. Or if you just want to be like me and have just only a few, and I love my subscribers, but I'm not big, and that's okay. You know, I mean, you have to just celebrate and just go, you know what? I'm able to now write a community page so that way I can promote other people. And I think that's awesome, you know? So, but again, it's just, but Logan, I mean, you are right. There are certain people that have that way about them to where
the charisma.
Yes, and it just brings people in. But again, we got a lot of great guys in here who make great content. And I don't know why they're not even in higher numbers. I was about to say something else, but I figured that if I said it, my brother would turn it around.
Yeah, it's amazing. I only have 36 subscribers.
Texas
I
Packet
put out such great content.
Hey, Texas Packet in the side chat says she has 30 subs, and I still stand at the least amount of subscribers at 27.
I lost one recently. I did have 37.
Oh, thanks, Texas Packet.
Yeah, Rennie got your link for the channel. I did the link for the roast stream. It's now a pinned comment up there on the chat.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. And
I've noticed lately with YouTube, look at the sub counts and stuff. It's like it'll add some and then it'll drop one or two, and then like a week later the same one or two are back.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. I don't know if it's just wanted to play with us or what. I don't know.
Well, that'd be a first for me.
Well, look, you guys will get a kick out of this.
He
All
usually
right,
plays
so,
with himself.
Yeah.
so I hit the
So-
500 sub mark, right? I get an
Uh-huh.
email from YouTube saying, "Congratulations, you have enough subs now to fill a jumbo jet." I
Oh.
told
Oh.
Mark and NCR about it. They're like, "What the hell? We didn't get no damn congratulatory email."
Probably went to the spam folder.
Oh,
They
yeah.
looked all over. They looked their spam folders, the social media. Nothing.
They
Well,
still
with
haven't gotten one?
with NCR, did you have to explain to them what the spam folder was? You know, they wasn't actually a folder full of spam that you could eat, but just junk email.
I bet Spotted Dick was disappointed.
No, that's fun. Oh, look, Abby said that Texas Packet recovered from Blue Bacon's Friday stream yet. You are an awesome producer and mod. Oh, I didn't realize Texas Packet was a
Yeah,
producer.
TX Packet. That's Rennie. That's Rennie. She's Blue Bacon's moderator for his streams.
Well, you do a great job. Yes.
Yeah, because like
I
last night,
like Blue Bacons because I'll have to
well,
watch it afterwards. But I
well,
really
like last night I had 446, and this morning I'm down to 445.
yeah, I think it's just messing with us.
It's holding that damn Twinkie just outside of range. It's like that damn what was that? Wasn't it Geico that did it with the fisherman and the dollar bill on the fucking fishing rod? Come on, jump a little higher. Oh, you almost had it. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, I've got to give Rennie enough props as it is. She tolerates me and Blue Bacon getting into trouble. I egg Blue
Well-
Bacon on.
I was about to say, Blue Bacon get into plenty of trouble by himself.
But Blue Bacon though is
Oh no! I egg him on
really
behind the
cool.
scenes. I do.
But
Hey,
again,
Brandon, do you or I'm sorry, CA, do you have TNRP's email so I can send them the silent film I did?
Brandon's.
Yeah.
I don't, but you can probably reach out to him. Are you on his server for Discord?
Probably not. let me take a look here because I got so many damn servers I'm on now.
I know, isn't it great? It's like you feel popular.
Oh yeah, I started
No,
out with just
I'm
my
not.
server and Blue
I'm not
Bacon's, and now
popular
I'm
either.
on everybody's.
I'm not popular, but I think it is good to basically it's kind of like we might have one big hub of one server, and then we have all these different little entities of servers. I mean, that's pretty much what it is, like, especially in this
Well, CA, if you could do me a favor and shoot me a DM with his server so I can get in there, and I think he get a kick out of that.
Okay. Also, Blue dropped into our troll mafia voice chat for a few seconds, and I told him he's not allowed without your supervision.
Which one are you going to send? The vending machine or the...
Oh, the vending machine, because that's right up his alley.
Yeah, I think that one is really, really, really good. And I think Skeptic is right because with children these days and how they can't seem to stay focused for a long time, then I think having those shorts, and if you post them to YouTube, which also you have the GoFundMe, which we need to make sure that people do know about it because that will help with your cameras and making more awesome videos.
Well, CA, if you don't mind, I mean, I can pull it up here and show people and kind of go over the fundraising I'm trying to do.
Yeah, we can do that real quick. I am going to have to end the stream here in just a few minutes, though. But sure.
All right, yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
quick.
sure.
Let me pull up.
This should be pretty good. Really nice to see. Squirrel.
All right, so I have the short that I'm going to send over to Brandon. But if you want to play it here,
Rennie is gonna love this one.
Mm-hmm. Attack of the Raging Man. Oh, this one's great. I got Yeah, I love that.
That
short.
one is perfect for Brandon. I wish he was here
absolutely.
so we could get a spit take.
So,
Brandon
just
is
real quick.
always chewing on salted nuts.
Oh yeah, he is. He's always got his mouth full. But just real quick for those that don't know me, back in November, I had a heart attack. I weighed like 552 pounds. Um, gained a little bit of weight, so I'm not as far down as I used to be, but I'm down to 428 pounds.
Woo! Congratulations.
And part of the thing with the heart attack is I got real lucky and I didn't have any like major damage that could have happened. However, I do have a lingering side effect, which is that one of my coronary arteries is 100% blocked. For those that don't know, your heart has three of the coronary arteries, two on your left, one on your right, and the one on my right is 100% blocked. And what that means is normally they would go in with a stent and just remove it, but since it's 100%, uh, there's no way to get the stent around the blockage to remove it without actually damaging the artery itself. So, long story short, that DOT has pulled me from being able to be a commercial driver anymore. So, I'm going through a huge career change, and I'm going to be going into the film industry. I'm currently in film school, and that little short film was one of our first projects that we had to do, which was just do a 30-second, 40-second silent film. And we used their equipment at the school. The problem with the equipment is that we can't bring it outside of school, and anything that we do has to be school related. So, with that being said, they do have an equipment pack that I can purchase. Um, I have tried all other avenues, and because I hate asking people for help, unfortunately, um, financially, I'm on company paid long term disability, which is very strict in in the way that I can't get a job and keep the benefits. If I get a job, it cancels out the benefits, and I'm screwed. So the only way that I can get the money to get this career pack is by asking you guys to donate. Um, the total cost is 2,500, and it comes with just a shit ton of things I need. It comes with the camera, an extra battery, two different tripods, uh, a lighting kit. It comes with a shotgun microphone and a 3G sound recorder. Now, I hate asking people for money and not, giving back in some way. So what I've done is there are four different levels of donations that you guys can get some kind of, thank you gift back. So the first donation, if you do $50, you get a we call them acknowledgement credits, meaning that you'll be put in the credits as a supporter of the channel. And then you'll get that in the first 5 films that are made. You'll also get that on my actual YouTube channel for 3 months, and you will get an actual physical, what do you call it, acknowledgement card. So like a thank you card. At $100, you get the same as the above, but you'll get 10 films instead of 5. You'll get 6 months instead of 3. And that's at $100, $150 donation. You get the same with 10 films. You get 1 year instead of 6 months. And you also get a Mandalorian notebook. At $200, you get all of that, plus you get a personalized video. I hate asking people to donate. I'd rather be the guy that helps other people raise money. But this is something that I really need so that I can start doing content outside the school. And I actually have a group of 3 of us that are interested in doing our own YouTube channel from the, kind of like a follow. Basically, you'll follow us through our progression in the school. You'll see our projects, and we also want to do projects that aren't school related. So I will drop the link for the GoFundMe. I understand that times are hard for everybody. I get that. Being on fixed income myself, I completely understand. So if you guys can't donate, if you could please just spread the word. Not to sound heartless or anything like that, but it is quite literally the number of eyes kind of game. The more they can get spread out, the more that you guys can help us out. That would be great. So it's also a way to do the channel that we want to, where you're following us through our progression. I think would give a lot of people a very good insight on what the film industry is about. Because, you think about the film industry, you think, your major studios out there. You think Disney, you think Warner Brothers, but there's a lot of, they call them indie filmmakers, which are
Hey, Mando?
independent filmmakers. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
When do you take your script writing class, and please say it soon?
Logan, I probably take my script writing class around the time that you get a real sense of humor or you get promoted off of Wish.com.
Get promoted. Ouch.
So that's all I have, guys. So if you can spread the word, I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, our goal is to get the equipment and to start our own YouTube channel where you guys can follow us through the school as we go along.
Has any of your doctors said anything, like your cardiologist, about getting a bypass?
So if my heart would have been weakened, they would have done the bypass. The problem is that my heart, even with it being down one of the arteries, is actually very strong. So their best outcome for me is one of 2 things. Stay on the medication I'm on now, keep losing the weight, and either the blockage itself will minimize enough to where they can get a stent in there and pull it out, or best case of the worst case scenario is that it's just always going to be there. To actually do any kind of surgery would do a lot more harm than it would good at this point. So it's kind of like it's got to get worse before they can do any kind of surgeries like that.
Okay,
that sucks.
Amanda, I see you.
I know.
See you dropped the link for the GoFundMe campaign. And guys, we're gonna wrap it up. See, starting with Amanda.
Well, thank you, Commander, for having us here today and getting us ready for the roast. And thank you again for talking about other great subjects and great content that needs to be shared. And congratulations. I look forward to seeing you Friday at 4 p.m., November 4th. And much love to everybody.
All right. Mando.
Check out my channel, check out the GoFundMe, and yeah, let's laugh at stupid people. And let's try to be a little bit nicer to Logan. It's not his fault he's on Wish.com.
NCR demoted him. NCR, you were here first, so I'll go ahead and give you a shout out since you're not on panel. Guys, go check out NCR's channel if you like laughing at stupid like everybody else.
Be sure to check out Commentator's video on NCR. His nice little
NCR's Broken
ditty.
Chair song.
Yes. Coming soon to iTunes, stores everywhere.
We keep doing these roasts. I'm going to have a whole album full of funny shit.
Oh, I can't wait till you do mine. Jesus.
Oh my gosh. We need to get up there. So, again, like, share, and subscribe to everyone that is here or was in the panel earlier. You know, we got to promote, right, guys?
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Damien.
I can just picture the album cover. Just a stick with multiple things on it with the marshmallows, and everybody's icon on it. Just hovering over a fire.
All right. Logan, you want to go?
Yeah. Just a reminder, friendly reminder to anybody who's going to be driving for the next couple of nights at dusk and after dark. Please keep your eyes open for not only the trick-or-treaters tomorrow night, but the pranksters who are out the night before and the night after. So just keep your eyes open when you're driving around.
Just thanks for letting me give my views on the original subject we were talking about. I appreciate that. It's nice talking to you people.
Yeah.
Except
also,
you,
guys,
Brendo.
Thank you.
If you guys haven't checked out B Squared, or as we call him, Brandon, which is TNPIR 4002, you might want to check him out. He does great video content on things that a lot of us could actually listen to and learn from, as well as pointing and laughing at stupid.
And be sure whenever you go into his chat to type Brandon is a fool. You'll get a nice little chuckle out of it.
Yep. Damien, you got a last word to say for everybody?
Shit.
Oh, Damien.
Thank you for letting me come up.
All right, guys. Hey, Damien, you're welcome anytime.
Yay.
All right, guys. So
Like
we're going to go ahead and cue the outro, and we'll end the stream.
Goodbye, everybody.
Outro.
Yeah.
I like that.